Ladies and gerbils, welcome to the show. Thanks very much for joining us. We might do a little short high noon here. We'll see how it goes. North Star, of course, is taking a vacation, so we'll see who hops on here. If it's just D and me for the first little bit, we'll probably just bounce. Oh, I probably should have muted myself. Echo, echo, echo. Ladies and just the guy did. If you could hit the thumbs up button, that would be super spectacularly, fantastically wonderful. I'm told that that's what you're supposed to do, basically, when you watch people's shows. So please do hit the thumbs up button. If you can also subscribe, that would be wonderful. The fuck is this? Is that me, literally? Yeah, that's literally me. How funny. I just gave myself an alert on my other channel. Anyway, so at least I know the alerts are going out, so that's good. That's actually progress. YouTube used to shut those down. Anyway, ladies and geraniums, do hop on, hop onto the chat first, I guess, and then of course also do hop onto the panel. I don't know what I'm even saying right now. Welcome to the show, though. The show is for. Did I even give D a chance to do the thing? No, I did not give D a chance to do the thing. Go for it, D.
This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You have to be VNTU, and that's 21 in French if you don't know French. That's Canadian French, A. You have to add A at the end of it.
That's right, eh?
But if you're over 21, you have to leave. Back to you, Freemy.
Thanks, eh?
No, no, do the boot it, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I just got an honorary passport, eh? But ladies and gerbils, wouldn't it be nice if it was that easy? Ladies and geraniums, like I said, do welcome to the show. And of course, the show is for adults only. So please remember that. And of course, please don't take us seriously because we're basically just goofing off here. I would like the audience to take the show a little bit more seriously because I don't know how many times I basically come back to the show and there was a blank screen and nobody was here and nobody thought to text me or anything like, hey, Fumi, shut off the show. Jesus H. Christ, guys, be a little bit less passive, honestly. Seriously, when you come on the show, and if I make you a moderator or whatever, take a little bit of responsibility for it instead of just like bounce, cheers, later. Come on, seriously, it's a little bit ridiculous, right? Like if this was a real bar and you just left the fucking lights on and everything, left the door open, whatever, like, come on, man. And you're like, it's not our fault you got robbed. We left before you got robbed, bro. It's totally not our fault. Okay, thanks. Anyway, obviously we're not gonna get robbed in this circumstance when the freaking show is running, but it's a little bit annoying. It makes the show look like fucking. I mean, I guess it is amateur hour, but it makes it look like even worse amateur hour. You know what I mean? So anyway, take the show a little bit more seriously, folks, or don't. I guess. Fuck, it's no skin off my nose. We can do something else. But let's see here. Is my show actually live streaming? Hopefully, I guess I'm gonna have to refresh this to see if the thingamajigger is working. The chat. There we go. There's some people in the chat. Welcome, folks. Thanks very much for joining us. Like I said, let me pop out this freaking chat here. Pop out. Boom. There we go. So yeah, like if you guys are on the panel in the evening or something, and I kind of leave the show running, uh, take some responsibility for texting me or something, just DMing me on Instagram or something. If I don't see your text or whatever, hey, that's on me. But if you at least text me, that would be a nice little act of responsibility. Fuck's sake, it's not like I leave a show for you guys to fucking hang out at or anything. Anyway, cheers, Smoke Sense. Good to see you. Let me switch to live chat like I always recommend. Smoke Sense is first in the chat. Jones M2 Grow second. Good to see you. Couch Flyers hanging. He says, let's get educated. He actually says, let's get educated. But exactly, man. Left with the freaking lights on. Might as well have a sign out there saying free beer inside, bro. That'd be something. I do remember reading about in Japan, they oftentimes have stores and even I think maybe tap rooms and stuff that literally just like leave the tap, like nobody steals from anybody basically there. And or I guess at least not in that sense, because I guess they do have gangbangers or yakuza and stuff, but I guess they steal differently probably.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, but nobody like does petty theft, I guess, in Japan. So you can literally just like walk in there, people pay their whatever. I don't know. There's like vending machines or whatever, so they'll just basically put in a couple bucks for their beer. They pour themselves a beer,
Oh,
their fucking beer. You could never do that in the U.S. Never, ever,
are
ever,
you
ever.
talk are you talking about Germany?
No, Japan.
Oh, okay. Because I saw a funny
Well, in
video.
Germany, you could probably pull that off in some places. Germany has a fair amount of crime too, though. German
Okay,
tourists are famously off the fucking hook.
so I saw I saw a video on Instagram yesterday actually. It was exactly what you said. A German. It was in Germany, and it was like a vending machine kind of thing under a cover. So you got your pop, your chips, and blah 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 in one. You got your chips and everything in your snacks, right? You got your pop in the other. You go to the other end. There's friggin' like adult toys you can buy in the vending machine. I'm not even shitting you. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah,
It's pretty funny.
right next to the cigarette and some other vending machine.
I mean, I guess the one thing kind of comical about Germans because they're some of the most stuck up people, not stuck up exactly, but most like, how do you describe a German? I don't even know. It's like well, basically, there's a famous joke about Germans, basically, that in the middle, it's not even a joke, it's just like kind of descriptive, actually. Like in the middle of a rainstorm, hurricane, in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, at an intersection in the middle of nowhere, if there's a stop sign that says don't walk, the Germans will stand and wait until the little green man shows up and it says walk. That's the kind of people Germans are. Like they follow the fucking rules to the goddamn letter. Except for when, like I say, they go somewhere else overseas and then they honestly do fucking every possible thing. Cheers, Patricia. Good to see you. If there's anybody more notorious than American tourists, it's actually well, there's actually a few countries that are worse. UK tourists are famously a lot worse than Americans, and like basically you'll go around the world and you'll be like, oh, American tourists suck, or so you'll just tell a joke or something to a hotel clerk, and they're like, no, 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 no. Let me tell you about the UK people. Like they will just literally volunteer stories that will make your fucking eyes bulge. German tourists can be pretty fucking bad. I mean, they're kind of a mix because some of them are very, like I say, orderly and whatever. But in German, there's this expression they let the pig out, basically, like a farm animal, basically. That's kind of accurate. Um, and then, of course, famously, nobody can beat the Chinese. Like nobody beats the Chinese. They will poop on your fountain. They will do any goddamn thing. They don't care. They just don't care. So, fortunately, there are worse tourists than Americans. Uh, what's that expression? Thank God for Mississippi. That's kind of one of those situations. Cheers, everyone in the chat, though. Welcome, folks. Welcome to the show. We're about 10 minutes in. We'll give it a little bit longer before we cut the cord. If you guys would like to join the show, please do. We'll be happy to provide the link. At this point, you must have had the link, but you must have copied and pasted or something. But if you need the link, we can always provide it for you. Just ask nicely in the chat. The rules are quite simple. Don't be a dick. Don't show your dick. Don't be a prick, and don't be a lunatic. Yes, I know it rhymes. That's funnier that way, and hopefully easier to remember. Just
Oh, don't even know it.
don't be a fucking dick. What's that? What's that, D?
You're a poet and don't even know it.
That's exactly right. Except I didn't rhyme that part. If I was a poet, though, I would probably hand it off to D so that we listen to the dulcet tones of some Canadian shit. What's going on with you, D?
What's going on, everybody? I'm just hanging out. Had to go and take care of a couple things at Mrs. D's family's houses there, since they're still away for a little bit. But we're back now. I am just chilling out. I'm gonna get on the live chat in a minute. Say hello to all you chatters out there. Hope everybody's having a great day. Thanks for tuning in last night. Yeah. Hope everyone has a great day. Cheers.
D, did you turn to Ms. D or Mrs. D earlier today and say, "Hey, we got to go take care of your mama"?
No, I should have though. That would have been funny. Yeah, I see a smile on Mrs. D's face.
Ladies and gerbils, we all like to take care of your mama. She's pretty well taken care of at this point. Do hop on though, folks. We are here for a good time, not a long time. So please do hop on. Don't dawdle. We're definitely not going to be here too long today, unless I don't even know who the fuck. Shit, I don't even know. Joe Pietri. If Joe Pietri came on the show and was like, "Well, let me tell you some stories about Nepal," I'd be like, "All right, we can go a little bit longer." But otherwise, I think we're going to cut this fucking show a little bit short today, ladies and gerbils. Perhaps one joint time or less.
Hmm.
Do hop on though. Do hop on. We can always go a little bit longer. If Bud Kilowatt or somebody hops on here, we can certainly maintain a discussion for a little bit longer. So do hop on. Thankfully, I was saying yesterday, it looks like the news is fairly well confirmed. I'm so used to things going tits up and sideways and fucking backwards and goddamn diagonal that I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. But pretty spectacular news in my neck of the woods. No, the lawsuit is still on, so unfortunately that shit's still on.
Uh,
But at least now I'm going to be able to deal with it a lot more easily because a big other thing has finally resolved. It took a long, 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 long time to resolve. I'd like to tell some jokes about it because it's genuinely fucking hilarious. The amount of puns and jokes I could say. I could basically make fun of the amount of 420 you guys have sold and basically crush you on it. But yeah, I can't explain the pun because yeah, I just can't explain the pun. So we're just gonna leave it at that. But good news, honestly, good news for me. It's been a fucking a while in coming, so that's pretty spectacular. It's gonna help a lot with the garden. It's gonna help with first of all, it's gonna help with my stress. That's as they stress is a fucking killer, and it's been whacking at me this whole year. So hopefully didn't take I don't know, like as a tree didn't take too much. No, that's not a good metaphor. Like chopping some inches off the tree, that really wouldn't work because you'd have to take it off the top. Well, anyway, mixing metaphors and fucking up metaphors. But anyway, some good news in my life. Since we're at it, why don't we bring up the testing program, ladies and gerbils? If you guys didn't hear before, I'm back at it now. I've been threatening to test for a super long time now. Probably been over a year now that I've been basically threatening this testing regime. But like I said, it's been an absolute nightmare of a year. So thankfully, things are proceeding now. Finally, it looks like, have a few good lines coming. Of course, you never know until you actually shuck the seeds. So I never really like to count the chickens before the eggs, but before the eggs are hatched, rather. But anyway, it's looking good for the moment. So I'm going to proceed with the tester run because I mean, how do I put this? It doesn't have to be a mystery. So I have a number of lines, not 100 or something, but I have a number of lines coming out. Hopefully five. We'll see. Hopefully more than five. Excuse me, from this new breeding run. We'll just leave it at that. And some very compelling lines. I'll leave it at that. I think a lot of you, I think all of you will find something interesting in the lines. In the past, I think it's been easy enough to ignore some of my lines if you were really not into sativa, if you were not into any lemon stuff, et cetera, et cetera. But I think now it's going to be really something for everything. I'm really not joking, actually, because I've made an effort actually to get something for everything. A few long time requested things are in the mix. So hopefully, folks, you're going to enjoy some things. Well, unfortunately, I don't have enough testers and I don't have enough time or anything else to test all the fucking lines. So what we're going to do basically is we're going to test a few lines. I've already done quite a bit of testing on the male itself, himself rather. I've done quite a bit of testing on him as a, let's call it, a progenitor of a few different lines. I've mixed him with goodness gracious, I've mixed him with the female Jack the Ripper. I've mixed basically with his sister. I know that sounds weird, but with plants, it's not as weird. I mixed him with a Coot Special, mixed him with some other things that you guys have been will hear about now. Pacifica Days, I guess version 2, basically the Oaxacan Thunderfuck mixed him with. What else? Of course, you guys have heard me talk about the Super Boof. I've had a chance to grow a number of those different things. Anyway, I'm pretty confident in that male, I have to be honest with you. So now it comes to the process of basically seeing how the audience receives that male's progeny, basically the lines. Speaking weirdly in the sense. Anyway, I want to see how you guys deal with the seeds. So it is what it is. I would love to test every single possible fucking line. I don't think the market really is trending that way anymore. I think it would be a tremendous disadvantage, actually, if I tested every single line, ironically. So I'm just going to make the calculated gamble that testing a few lines will be good enough. We'll see. If that doesn't work, then I'll have to reevaluate in the future. But that's what it is. That's what I'm going to do, basically. We're going to basically test the Pine Sol, that's a big one that I want to actually release. I'm really hoping to release that one. I'm hoping to rebreed that one in the future. Uh, I haven't, like I said, I haven't cracked the code with that one to make that plant really thrive on a general daily basis. It's one of those weird temperamental plants. The flower is worth it, so it's one of those you ask yourself, you know, how do I put this? Like, shouldn't you throw away anything that's temperamental? Yes, you should always throw everything that's temperamental, unless the flower is so compelling that you just can't possibly bring yourself to throw it away. It's one of those kinds of plants. The flower is really compelling, and it's got a lovely high. The flavor, the high, everything about it, honestly, is lovely. The aroma is spectacular. Uh, super, super nice. Gives a fairly consistent high to most people that smoke it. It's a fairly relaxing but uncomplicated high. Doesn't really deaden you and melt you into the couch and so on. And everyone I've smoked it with basically has a similar response. So it's one of those very few ones. Most of the time you get responses all over the place, right? Anyway, lovely, lovely strain. So I'm really excited to see what it's going to produce with that Jack the Ripper male. I have a couple of those. Unfortunately, they were going to be there was going to be a little bit more than a couple, but it is what it is. At least I got a couple, so I should have. They're not very much flower, unfortunately, thanks to circumstances, but at least it's going to be enough to smoke. So I'm really happy that I'll have a chance to smoke that. Anyway, I really am curious what that cross is going to yield. I think that's going to give some fairly indicative responses to or rather indicative data for some of the other lines. Basically, I'm breeding with the JTR, so it is what it is, like we're going to use cannabis's famous inbreeding to our advantage. Basically, we're going to test a few things and then we're going to use that as inference for everything. uh, I have no reason to think that Jack the Ripper is going to herm out. Jack the Ripper is not prone to herming. The line in general has never been prone to herming, and certainly I've never had any problems with his female counterpart that I bred with. Anyway, we're going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to try to test those first few lines, and in the next few months, I think we're going to get some great data from it. I think people are going to get some wonderful flowers, so I think we're going to have a good time. Anyway, yeah, Al Telescope Uranus. I believe it was bred by. Okay, and now I don't remember which Bodhi it was. I believe it was Green Bodhi, actually. I think it was not Bodhi seeds. It was actually, I believe, Green Bodhi, and he, I think, primarily is up in Seattle area these days, whereas Bodhi, I think, is these days down in the Bay Area. Anyway, it is. Oh, now that it's confusing because actually I think it uses some Bodhi genetics. I think it uses one of his snow lotuses. I'll have to look it up one of these days. Where did I get it? I got it from a store, I think. I got it from Archive. I got it from Archive once upon a time, so I can look at their menu. I could look at their menu right now. I'm sure I have a picture of it somewhere. Probably saved in favorites. Let's take a fucking look, shall we? I do. And it's not on the list though. They have,
Mercy.
man, I
Mercy
hope
bucket.
it's that double dosido again. They used to have double dosido. Be nice to get that moon boots again. No, I don't have a picture of the pine sol. Damn it. No, that's white Tahoe cookies.
Love to get my hands on some white runts again. That's
No,
just
we're very crossed out. What were you saying, D?
Oh, I'm just thinking about white runts. That's a
Oh,
good
that's a
one.
nice one. Yeah, I got that one outdoors.
Nice.
Lovely flower. Yeah, lovely flower on that one. Runts by Gelato, or Gelato by Runts, I think, actually.
Ooh,
Anyway,
it's
bonjour, Christophe. La puissance, mon ami. Congratulations for successful Olympics, I guess, in La Belle France. Now comes to LA. LA does it right, usually with the Olympics. Uh, yeah, I hope to be there for the next Olympics. My dad got to enjoy the '84 Olympics, and he was very happy about that. And I hope to enjoy the. Wouldn't it be something if it would have been the 2024 Olympics? It would have been what, 40 years? But I guess it's gonna be the 2028 Olympics, which is almost 25 years actually. Now that I think about it, maybe it will be 25 years with the schedule. How funny is that? Anyway, ladies and gerbils, is anybody else in the chat here? Oh, look at that. Vermont's in the house. Good to see you. Southern Vermont Vintage. Good to see you as always. Johnson and To Grow is saying, ordered a Flour Mill USA flour mill today. Tired of grinding my herb. Also looking into King Rollers joint roller. Also tired of crappy plastic rollers. Cheers to fatter, nicer burning joints. I wholeheartedly recommend rolling your joints by hand. I have to be honest. Not everybody, and this is a real thing. Not everybody has the finger dexterity to do that. If I don't know. I guess you have to grow up doing weird shit with your hands. I don't know. I played with Legos and stuff, played with clay and stuff, so I have a lot of finger dexterity. If you can do that, I've never once found a joint roller or a rolling machine or anything that could hold a candle to your fingers because your fingers basically can sense. People are surprised by how accurate your fingers can be in terms of weight sensation and everything else. We can tell if something is heavier than something else a lot more accurately than most machines. I guess scales are pretty accurate, more accurate than a person, but still, it's actually fairly amazing that we can make scales that are more accurate than our hands. But in terms of all kinds of touch sensations and stuff, humans are really shockingly able. Anyway, what am I trying to say? I am losing my train of thought already. I was trying to talk about the fuck I was just talking about. Oh my fucking God, I guess I'm a little bit high. What did I smoke before the show? I smoked
You were talking about hand rolling as
sour
compared to
Morgana. That's what it
machines.
is. I smoked sour Morgana an hour ago, I think. Well, anyway, I guess I'm on the tail end of that. I'm like, doo, 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 doo. So anyway, yeah, what did they say about Rommel? Fingerspitzengefühl. Anyway, they used it for something else with Rommel, but the sensation of your fingertips, I guess, is that word basically in German. But anyway, uh, a joint roller, a cigarette roller, any of those kind of rolling machines, basically, they'll compact a little bit over here and a little bit over here will be loose. Like I've never once found one that was uniform all the way through and had a good solid draw all the way through. Whereas with your fingers, you can really basically, as you're rolling it up, you can essentially get the dexterity to roll the whole thing the same consistency. It's really hard to explain, I guess, but your fingers are more accurate and more sensitive, believe it or not, than basically any rolling machine you're going to find. Now, if we got some Japanese or German engineered fucking monstrosity that cost $700, yeah, I'm sure they could nail cigarette rolling or joint rolling, whatever. But the reality is there's no market for $700 automated AI controlled joint rollers. So basically, what you get is China specials, and they are all garbage. So if you can, I would recommend learning how to do it with your hand. Jones Integro says, tried, have dexterity, just not for joints. Tried many, many times. And after I've smoked a bit, no chance at all, but I can use a machine well. Just hate junk crap made in China. There are a couple of German cigarette rolling machines that work okay.
Kaiser.
Unfortunately, they usually come for small sizes, but over the years, I had some friends that, for one reason or another, couldn't, even a piano player that, like you say, has dexterity, but she just couldn't roll joints for shit or cigarettes. And I think in that case, for shit, we found her, like I say, those machines. For the life of me, maybe it's called Giza. The brand might be Giza, and they're not expensive. But they're made in Germany. I think to this day they're still made in Germany. It's the same company. You can find it like kind of well, you hardly ever find these shops anymore, but kind of high-end tobacco shops. Like if you find a place that has $700 tobacco pipes, that kind of place will have these kinds of things, or can at least order it. Certainly online, I would imagine. Smokingpipes.com might have them. Recently, I've heard that pipesandtobacco.com apparently has terrible customer service, which is really disappointing. I've been intermittently shopping with them for 20 fucking years probably. So it's unfortunate to hear that they're shitty now. But anyway, smokingpipes.com I've been told is pretty awesome. Anyway, try them. Uh, Keep in mind that there's always like a fucking weed tax, basically. We find this at the grocery store, we find this for all kinds of stuff. Any specialty thing basically has an upcharge essentially. Tobacco probably also has an upcharge, but there's so many people who smoke that I think it's other than taxes, obviously, kind of tobacco accessories a lot of times are not really surprisingly that expensive. So I would go for one of those basically. But again, you're going to struggle because the tobacco cigarette sizes are usually smaller than joints, so that's going to be the downside. But you're going to have a lot better luck with that particular. It's like a kind of a fabric roller thing. It almost looks like, do you remember those I hated those things, the towel roller things at the bathroom where it had like a constant towel, fabric towel that you pull through.
Yeah.
The thing just becomes smeared with disgusting crap, and you're like, why are people
Yeah.
like
Ew.
that? Anyway, imagine that machine, but essentially horizontal, and you're rolling stuff with it. It kind of looks like that a little bit. Anyway, that's the one that I'm thinking about. Um, well, so Pip Jam's in the house. What's going on, Pip Jam? Good to see you, buddy. John Cedric Gross says, "Cheers, Fumidor, made in USA, handmade wood, brass, or commercial stainless and high density plastic. The King Roller. Let's look it up. Motherfucker.
This is the can't roll either. So
King Roller. Fine tobacco cannabis rollers. Oh snap! There's a gun. Nothing more American than a guy with a gun and a mustache. When do we get to the roller? No cigars, please. I don't roll that way. Get it?
uh
And now watch him impress those ladies. Wait, no, now he's going to roll a cigar.
look at this guy. Oh,
Oh shit, you could roll the world's largest joint. Oh my God, that's amazing. Could roll like a 10-gram joint. All
that'd
right,
be awesome.
products. Cigarette roller with stash box. Ace roller, $69. Let's take a look at this.
69.
That's right, it's your mom's favorite number.
Uh,
Cigar roller
uh,
pro,
uh, uh.
deuce roller pro, long
Oh,
bed pro, blunt roller. Hey, these are cool.
blunt. You say blunt roller?
Yeah, they got a blunt roller over here. 219
That's
long bed.
cool.
These are pretty chill. This is that style of machine, so these are actually probably going to work as long as they're well designed. I'm pleasantly surprised. All right, let's take a look here. I would roll it by hand if you can. I mean, there's no reason to spend $69 on a fucking thing that you have to keep track of. Plus, what are you going to do? Take this to the beach with you? I mean, Jesus H Christ. Just learn to do it by your hand if you can. But as we discussed, if you can't, or if you whatever, if you get arthritis or some shit, there's no shame in using this. 70
Oh,
bucks. That's pretty reasonable.
right on. It'd be better than one of those freaking cheap plastic ones you get at the uh store.
Yeah. I'd like to get in touch with these people. Let's see if we could try these.
Jimmy's gonna be rolling his own cigars in no time. Look
Yeah.
out. Three
Cool. That's a cool tip. Who was it that said it in the
quarter
chat?
inch.
Was it Jones? Who was it that said that? Yeah, Jones. Cheers, Jones. Let us know how those fuckers work. Well, we've been going for 20, 30 minutes. Nobody's hopped on. I don't know. We'll give it a few more minutes, folks. Show is meant, honestly, for more than just D and me. So consider this last call, I guess, because if you don't hop on, we'll probably just bounce and go do our thing. Excuse me. No, they certainly look good, Jones. So I'm really curious how they work. Cash Flyer says 1950s TV cowboys rolled with one hand while riding a horse. Oh, there's all kinds of stories. Who was it? It wasn't Bud's mom, but somebody's mom here. Now I don't remember whose mom it was. This isn't even a joke. Somebody's mom here, maybe fucking Flora's mom or somebody used to roll joints with one hand while driving. That's a skill. That's it right there. So I don't have that skill, that's for sure. But
Or,
uh
or hmm.
yeah, I can't remember who it was.
or was it oh shit, green fingers, because I know he sees
Could be
his
green
mom a lot.
fingers. It could be green fingers, yeah.
Green fingers mama.
That sounds like something he would say too. It could have been him. He's
My
in,
mom man
that
can
sounds
roll with
just like
one
my mom,
hand.
man.
Yeah, driving down the road, man, with one hand.
That's it. Anyway, um, yeah, like I said, folks, do hop on. We're gonna bounce here in a couple minutes, probably if you don't. So I was saying earlier before, email me, fumidor at
Oh,
chronictable.com if you'd like to test. Join the Discord. That's the best place to join us basically for the testing. It'll be a fun place to hang out and watch everybody grow. Hopefully one of these days we'll do another grow off and stuff. I'm really tired of the whole sort of emotional trajectory of the YouTube scene. I think basically all the dipshits and shitbags have really ruined it for everybody. So I think there's a lot of positive people in the community that would like to constructively continue growing and doing stuff. So I'm going to try to pull it back to that kind of energy here in the near future. Um, Thankfully, I think life is going to at least hopefully lead me by the nose a little bit less. So hopefully I'll be able to take the reins a little bit more. So with that, I'll be able to uh, uh, reinstate some of the positive ideas I think I've had over the years. No shortage of good ideas, but they somehow never go anywhere. And of course, what am I going to say? Life is a constant reminder that nobody really cares about the things that you do as much as you do. So if you want something done, you got to fucking do it. So it's a reminder, just basically, gotta fucking do it. Anyway, I'm babbling, I guess, halfway to myself. Cheers, Firefly UK. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome to the show. Good to see you as always. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen you, so good to see you again. Al Telescope Uranus. Don't talk about your mama that way. I'm kidding.
uh,
Love for the
hey,
Plant
oh,
in the house. What's going on, Love for the Plant? One of the other blue moderators, ladies and gentlemen. After the
what?
whole blue extravaganza, I don't even know. It was a fucked up thing where a moderator basically just abused their authority terribly. I removed basically all the blue names. You probably, if you've checked in for the first time in a couple of years, you're like, shit, why are all the names gray again? Well, you can thank whichever anonymous troll. I think I know who it is, but fuck whoever it was, honestly. Uh, the rest of you guys now are gray, and there's only a few blue names. Love for the Plant is one of them. Pip Jam, who was in the chat earlier, is another one. D Zombie is another one. There's just a handful of them. So, folks, thank them for their continued solid service, because, of course, we don't have any problems with those folks at all. Solid as a fucking rock. So, thank you very much to those guys for not being shitbags. Uh, seems like a backwards compliment, but it's not, right? Like, thank you for not being a shitbag. It's like, wow, that's some rare shit, seems like these days. Whatever. I joke. Anyway,
I kid, I kid.
I kid. I'll telescope your saying your mama likes to be pollinated.
Uh-oh, hey,
Telescope
oh.
is saying, "Are you making a runs cross?" Not officially yet, but I wanted to pollinate the plant outside. Hasn't worked out to have the pollen, unfortunately. So I don't think right now I'm going to have a white runs cross. Ironically, uh, I was sort of trying to make it, but it just didn't work out. But I definitely am going to make a white runs cross. I like the flower. I don't think that those crosses have a gigantic amount of legs. I think basically that those things are already so amalgamated and hybridized that you'd really have to break out lines and take a while to really create a new something that isn't kind of just more gelato. But it's still good flour, and so there's no reason not to throw some fucking pollen at it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that I wouldn't set up I wouldn't set up a breed run around it, but I definitely would include it in the breed run. So as soon as I can in the future, I will definitely be including the white runs. I like the cut that I have. Um, I think, ironically, it is actually a different plant than the other plant that I had. It grows a little bit different, has a little bit different leaf structure and stuff. We'll see how the flower runs out, but it is definitely still white runs. So it's kind of an interesting situation. Got it from uh, arguably the same source, but it's one of those things. I think it was probably a number 17, number 18 situation. Anyway, digging that plant. Really, I'm not joking or goofing off or whatever. I really do enjoy that White Runs flower. Uh, Whatever you can say about the Cookie Fam, and you can say a hell of a lot. They have some good lines. What do you want? They get them one way or another, I think a little bit under the table, over the table, whatever, however they get them, they do have a wonderful flower. You can't really. Bud Kilowatt and I have been talking about cheetah piss lately. I'm out of cheetah piss, or I would be talking about it to this day. It's lovely flower, honestly. Um, yeah, what can you say? But D Zombie is saying he loves white runs. Absolutely right, my friend. Firefly says, don't forget the bowl. Or Benny said, don't forget the bowl. Pip Jam MBF always licks the spoon.
Don't forget to bring a towel.
That's right.
Always bring a towel.
I'll telescope Uranus is saying runts rippers. Shit. Maybe we'll bounce a couple here. Maybe I'll roll a joint and then we'll bounce. Damn, I'm looking forward to hopefully a little bit less stressful times here in the near future. That would be absolutely fucking delightful. Can
Right on.
stress to you the amount of stress that I've been having lately. So
Yeah, man.
out.
From what I know, anyways. From what
Yeah,
I've
I'll
heard.
do a little bit of the details, so D knows more than you guys, that's for sure.
Yeah. Stress Central for Mr. Streamy.
Yes, indeed. So,
Thank
Stony.
goodness for cannabis.
What's that, D?
Thank goodness for cannabis.
Fuck yeah! Holy shit!
Cheers, big
That was
long
the
Jones.
that was one of the most frustrating things about being in Israel is that that whole time I didn't have any fucking weed. Can you imagine? No goddamn weed. That was
That's some crazy shit.
right?
Yeah. Not just the shit, the stuff you had going on
Yep.
as well, but just the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Combo. I think I'm gonna smoke my last little bit of grape gas.
Ooh, fancy.
Yep, it was a lovely plant. Don't get me wrong, it's nice weed. Here, I can't see my camera. It's nice weed. You can't really see much. It is, well, you can see how frosty it is. You can definitely see how absurd
Yeah.
fantastic it is. Let's show that sugar leaf. Real nice frosty stuff.
Make duty.
Yeah, real nice and frosty. You can see
Nice.
my fingernail from the other day. I can shut it in the goddamn door. Anyway, you can see the beautiful flower. But again, the disappointing part of it for me is it's not that it's bad flour, so don't get me wrong. Don't feel like, oh, Timmy's talking shit about grape gas. No. For me, it's a really obvious thing. If I hear the name grape gas, I expect gassy grape, right? I don't think that that's just me thinking that. I think most people that would buy or grow this would expect grapey gas. So where's the grape? I don't find any grape in this at all. I don't detect any, really hardly any fruit. It's very, very, very reminiscent of ice cream cake. And actually, I thought I mislabeled a jar. I was like, what the fuck is this? Oh, it looks like I have one little seed here. There, what am I trying
Sweet.
to do? Yeah, it is one little seed. Nice one too.
Sweet.
Yep. What was I trying to say? That's really my only complaint, actually. It's good flour, but I was expecting so much more, especially for how hyped it was. But I've said the other cut basically that people talk about, that apples and bananas. Oh, it's lovely. It's lovely, lovely, lovely. So I have no complaints whatsoever about that apple and bananas. Okay, I guess it could grow a little bit bigger. It's a little bit on the smaller side plant. It's not nearly a small plant or anything, but it could grow a little bit bigger. So I guess it'd be a good candidate for crossing into aggressive stuff. So for what it's worth. But the grape gas, I'll keep growing it. I still have the cut, so I'll keep growing it. Maybe in the future I'll pull out some more grape from it. Maybe I've just gotten it wrong. Bud said the same thing, that basically he grows cuts a few times before he really makes a decision. So you never know. Maybe I kind of like with a pine sol, maybe even though visually the plant looks like it's healthy, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's a limiting factor somewhere that I haven't found. Basically, to simplify the problem with pine sol or any other plant that you struggle with, you've got a limiting factor somewhere, and you probably don't know what it is. Otherwise, you would have fixed it. I know that I would have fixed it if I knew what it is with that pine sol. I've tried rich mixes. I've tried unamended mixes. I've tried basically fresh soil. I've tried well-aged soil. I've tried pure compost. I've tried an amended compost. What did I just say? I did try a completely unamended mix, basically just essentially, well, it wasn't a peat mix, but it was basically the equivalent of peat and perlite, but it was basically like fermented forest floor mix with pumice in it. Anyway, I tried that by itself. Anyway, I'll nail it one of these days. It's not rocket science. I'll get it. But maybe I did the same. Ah, see, it smells nice. It's gassy, so at least it's got half the equation. It does have gas. It's not nearly that kind of powerful fume like the pine sol that we were just talking about. Pine sol also arguably badly named. I expected it to be like shit, what's the old was it White Widow, or White Rhino, White Rhino. I expected it to be fucking super piney, right? No,
Ugh,
just a little bit piney, just a little bit. It's very, very like gasoline fuely, and then a little bit of pine and earth in the background. Anyway,
that's one strain I do not like,
which
especially
one, the White
greenhouse
Rhino?
seed. White Rhino, yeah.
Hmm.
Mrs. D liked it. I grew it.
Am
Mrs.
I
D
thinking
liked
of the
it.
right one, D, the really piney one?
I don't remember. I tried it a couple times and then like, no, this isn't for me, and I put it
Hmm.
aside. I did not like the taste of it at all.
For what it's worth, I quite like pine
Me
and
too.
forest floor and stuff like that. Maybe I'm thinking of a different cut. Anyway, I thought it was White Rhino. I remember Stevie was growing it. It was super piney. It was like smoking pine needles.
There's a
Luscious.
strain called there's a strain called pine tar, and it's the same way.
Oh yeah,
It's good. I should find that
I
strain.
had that a couple times in my tasting group. That was good.
Where'd you go?
All right.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Lost the bud.
Smells nice. Nice gas here. It's good and sticky. It's going to be a great joint. I'm going to enjoy it for sure. It's going to be a great high. Actually, the high is similar to the Pine Sol, not super sedative, just kind of more relaxing than anything else. Super good, like video game weed for sure. Hanging out with friends. Um, I guess I haven't had enough of this, I don't think, to really remember how it is with like appetite and munchies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'm pretty much out right now, except for like I got this leftover like this free shit they give me. That's not really that great. This stuff this bag is smokable, but I have other stuff that just tastes like old. And it just tastes like crap. And they give it to you for free.
Hmm.
So annoying.
You waiting on another delivery or what?
Oh no, not right now. I'm just chilling like a villain.
Chilling like a villain.
Yeah, man.
Chilling. All right, ladies and gerbils, I guess maybe we'll call it. We made it almost an hour, so I guess we had a good meeting after all. Hope you guys checked the condition that your condition was in and found the condition was good. And if not, then you smoked a little bit and perhaps now the condition is good. How soon will we see each other, D? Are you going to do a takeover this Saturday, do you think?
I'm muted. No.
No, I hear you.
Yes, for sure.
Right on.
This Saturday, everybody, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock Pacific.
Sounds good.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Sounds like a plan, D. One of these days, I'm thinking about maybe bringing back the grill and chill sessions. So we'll see. Stay tuned. It might be one of those things that I might just literally go live without even any notice or something. So anybody that has beef handy, I guess you'll be welcome to fucking grill. Well, anything. You don't have to grill beef, but all the Hindus that are watching are like, what the fuck, man? No, you can grill tofu for all I care. What would they grill in India? I guess what would a Hindu grill? They would probably grill
Chicken. Actually,
chicken.
it'd be pieces of cut up chicken on like a skewer or a stick, and then they put it over hot coals, and they go like this, little the charcoal briquettes, but they'll be so small though, but they'll go like this, and they'll just slowly spin it until it's cooked, and you serve it with a.
kind of like a almost satay. Well, we gotta look into that a little bit more. I love satay. That's Indonesian skewers, chicken skewers with a flat chicken.
Yeah,
And then I also love kebabs. That's kind of more the
that's
Pakistani,
it.
Indian, Persian, that kind of thing. So I'm curious. It's never occurred to me to think about Indian kebabs. I guess I've had North Indian,
Oh,
tandoori and stuff like that, but I've never thought about it. It's an interesting. We definitely need to talk more about food and stuff on the show. I really
yes.
enjoyed one of my absolute favorite meals in LA. The last time I was in LA here for a few weeks was at Feng Mao, and I don't speak a word of fucking Chinese, so please excuse me if you do speak Chinese and I fucked that up. But that's how Americans say it, Feng Mao. Wonderful goddamn place. Lamb kebab. That's their specialty. They have a bunch of other shit, of course, too. But basically, their specialty is these kind of um, hibachi style. That's probably insulting. But anyway, it's in the middle of the table and there's like a vent above it so you don't get all smoky, although mine malfunctioned and almost set my face on fire. But
Oh
thank
well.
God. But yeah, there's a big old fireball and the waiter or whatever was like super concerned. You could see it on his face. He's like, "Are you okay?" Anyway,
Are my
uh,
eyebrows still
but,
there?
what's Eddie?
I was just saying, are my eyebrows still there?
Yeah, right. Seriously. But basically, there's like this automated uh, back and forth thing that goes over a gas. Was it gas or charcoal? It was gas grill, basically, that of course they can turn up and down. And you basically put these skewers on. The skewers have a little gear on them that basically, when you lock them into the little track, it basically pushes the skewers back and forth and turns them basically like a little rotisserie fire. And you can get pretty much anything. You can get beef, lamb. Of course, they specialize in lamb, chicken. I think they had a
Yeah.
couple of different seafoods, and then of course they have a bunch of different offal too, like kidneys and liver and whatever the shit. I just got the lamb, and they give you a bunch of sides with it. I didn't know that before I ordered it. Now, of course, I know that were all yummy, by the way, and they complement the food, and they're acidic and sweet and peanuts and da da da. Anyway, there's only a handful, so don't go nuts. Don't think it's a full meal. And then, unfortunately, I ordered two fairly bready things. I ordered Chinese soup with noodles, and then also onion pancakes. I probably would have, in retrospect, ordered something a little bit more veggie to kind of counteract the heaviness of that lamb, but it was still an absolutely fucking splendid goddamn meal. It was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Anyway,
I'm not too
splendid.
smart about one.
I'm serious. Chinese kebab. I mean, it wouldn't have occurred to me. Well, that's a face from the fucking past. Holy cow! Genetic memory farms. Cheers, buddy. Genetic memory farms. I think would nerd out like a crazy person for those Chinese kebabs. It was so goddamn good. Oh my fucking god. Um, kind of turmeric heavy, little bit of curry. It was not heavily seasoned. Sesame, turmeric, uh, probably white pepper. Um, That's about it, honestly. Salt, and it wasn't over salted or anything. Oh, it was yummy as fuck. It was so so good. I would go back there in a goddamn heartbeat. I'm guessing, I haven't had a chance to look it up actually now that I think about it, but I'm guessing that it was more of a kind of an Easter, still to this day, I'm guessing that it was more Eastern Chinese style, like up in the mountains and stuff. It's interesting. When you draw a line through China, basically kind of diagonally, 90% of them live below and to the right of that line. And then half of China up in the mountains, 10% of people live. I'm assuming that those kebabs basically come from that part of the country, but I guess I haven't looked into it. Anyway, cheers, Benny. We were just, I think, talking about you a little while ago, or maybe they were. We might have been talking about Benny Hill, but cheers, Benny. Here's to all the Bennies. You remember? Did you ever watch Benny Hill movie or Benny Hill shows when you were a
Oh
kid?
yeah, I used to watch. I actually still watch the There's a scene on YouTube I watched. The end scenes when they used to do the chase. He used to
Uh-huh.
chase around. It's the hospital one. I used to watch. I still watch that one. And he goes on the bicycle. And he's like this up the tree, and then he goes down the tree, and
Yeah,
yeah.
nice. I remember watching that one out with my mom when I was a little kid. Anyway, ladies and geraniums, I think we might call it good here. Oh, I didn't even plug in my computer. Gosh, I was just talking to my friend yesterday. I was like, fuck this computer. This is like a 2, 3 year old computer by this point. I'm like, fuck, it's amazing how good computers are these days. It's just a laptop. It was the cheapest laptop that Apple had. And I can literally just run a whole show off of it, not plugged in. Like I'll come back into the room. I'm like, oh, I wonder if it's plugged in. Last night, basically, I came back into the room and I was like, oh shit, is it plugged in? It wasn't, and I looked, and it was still only halfway battery. So, for example, right now it wasn't plugged in, so I probably didn't even plug it in from last night, and I've only lost the battery. Jesus Christ! Like we need to be happier about the awesome laptops we have these days. So much better than the past. Like, do you remember how laptops used to last like a half hour on battery? Seriously,
Yeah.
they had to plug it in, even if it was a small laptop, because this is like a 13-inch. Fuck off. Anyway,
Hmm.
I'll stop being a weirdo. Ladies and geraniums, 1:01 p.m. Congratulations for making it that far. Cheers, Dr. Levy. Good to see you.
Oh.
Well, I guess we'll call it. Cheers, Hardcore. Good to see you. He says that his phone died on me. At least there was only 10 minutes of silence. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, Hardcore, for saying something. I would really much like it, folks. If you are kind of running the show, it is my fault for not having made one of you a host at the end there. But it would be nice if you guys are one of the last people, so to speak, out the door. For whatever reason, if your fucking phone dies or whatever, if you could text me, that'd be great. Because otherwise, the stream is just hanging there for a long time. It just looks it's just very Mickey Mouse, you know. So please, in the future, text me or remind me in some way. Even if you're not the last one out the door, if you're one of the people watching in the audience or somebody, probably 90% of you follow me on Instagram or know my email address, fumidor@chronictable.com. Email me if you have to. Something that would be very helpful. Anyway, I guess we'll call it there. Dee, have any final thoughts? Go for it, buddy.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to all you lurkers and non-lurkers. Hope everyone has a great rest of the week, and we'll see you on Saturday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Cheers, everybody, and remember, don't get, don't let your if your women don't find you handsome, at least they find you handy.
That's
Take
it.
off, eh?
Cheers, Dee. Good to
Stay
see you.
on.
So I guess that's it, folks. Like I talked about a few times during the show, I'm looking for testers, so I'm not going to go through the whole spiel, but if you guys are interested in testing, please email me at fumidor@chronictable.com. You can also, of course, DM me on Discord. That's a good place to reach me. Please do join our Discord if you're not part of the Discord, because that would be super helpful to join the testing program and participate. Even if you're not going to be a tester, that would be a good place for you to learn about testing. Perhaps you're curious about dipping your toes in the water of being a tester. I think it's a really great experience. I started my kind of cannabis journey as a tester, basically. Well, I guess I started growing some plants in my basement, but not too long after that, I was like, well, tell me more about testing. I was like, wait, you get free seeds and shit? I'd be happy to talk to you about my experiences with testing. I had a really good time at it. Met some really interesting people, met some fun friends in the community as well. And gosh, got my hands on some really great genetics and so on. For me, it was a really a great situation, a win-win. I provided good service for the breeders that I worked with, Subcool included. I got him really beautiful photographs and everything else. And he sent me some beautiful genetics. I think it was a win-win, honestly. So I speak and think very highly of the whole testing thing, even though I don't think that testing is really part of the future market of cannabis. I think people just are not focused on that. I think that's just too much dollars and cents anymore. But I think testing is just a cool thing. So I'm going to try, if possible, to maintain a testing regime of some kind in the future. If you guys would like to participate, join the Discord, email me at fumidor@chronictable.com. And the last option I really recommend is Instagram. Instagram is a weird place. You can follow me on Instagram and stuff, and I hope to be more active in the future. I always say that, of course, but now that I'm back and hopefully can start to organize my photos a little bit better, I hope to start, because you just don't know how many fucking photos and videos I have saved up of all kinds of stuff. Just don't know where it is because everything got mismatched. Oh, whatever. Let's not get into it. So Instagram's not dead. If you want to follow me, Fumidor_Chibidor. But Instagram is such a poo-poo head that a lot of times they'll restrict my account. It's not currently restricted, but it's been restricted many times before. It's been shut down a couple times. Thankfully, it wasn't erased like many people do, but it's been like temporarily shut down a couple times for nothing, literally for nothing. Really frustrating the way they treat us. And if nothing else, that would be the frustrating thing. Like they've treated a lot of other people worse than they have me. We should be by all rights striking, but we don't because there's not really a replacement. So they have us by the freaking short and curlies. Anyway, a million different reasons not to use Instagram. If you want to, of course, I am there. Fumador_Chibador would be the best account to reach me. But again, Fumador at chronictable.com is by far the best email and place to reach me. Thanks, folks, for hanging with us. Al Telescope Uranus is in the chat here. He says, having testing, giving good picks and background on what's to be expected. Yep, that's it. Bonsoir, Christophe. He says, I'm smoking a little joint black bomb. I hope it's very tasty. Jack Beanstalk's in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Hardcore, Dr. Leby, Benny Ben. Who else in here? Operation Annihilation. Good to see you, buddy. Genetic Memory Farms, of course. Long time no see. Pip Jam MBF. Again, one of the few Blue Crew remaining here these days. Who am I missing, folks? Who am I missing? There's always somebody. Firefly UK, Stony Creek in the house, and I'm sure Big John. There we go. I just missed Big John. Good to see you, buddy. Oh, it's right at the end there. I was gonna Big John, but there's so little action on Rumble that I haven't invested a lot of time on it. I can certainly try it again one of these days. I can certainly try Twitch again because I didn't give Twitch much of a try at all. But I hear consistently so little viewership basically on Rumble. And what was the other one? A Kick, and there was another one too that Smash told us about a Kick. I feel like there was one more. Anyway, frustrating. You'd think there'd be more than just Instagram and YouTube, but at the moment that seems like all there is. Anyway, what am I supposed to pronounce? Can I pronounce what? Yo mama? Something. Anyway. We're going to bounce, folks. Thanks very much for joining us. I'm going to go smoke this joint of grape gas. It's good weed, but it's not grapey. Why isn't it grapey? It needs to be more grapey. Anyway, ladies and geraniums, thanks very much for joining us. Be kind, be decent, be gentle. Don't be fucking pricks, dicks, or lunatics. Puff something wonderful. I hope you are able to puff something wonderful. If you're not, of course, don't get yourself arrested or something. Treat yourself. Get a chocolate bar or I don't know something else. Watch a nice program on TV. Even it doesn't take much to treat yourself. Think about the future when hopefully cannabis will be legal where you are. Perhaps work towards that in some legal way. But in the meantime, if it is available to you, I hope you guys are able to enjoy something good. Until we meet again, my friends, thanks, Dee, of course, always for hanging out and helping us and being a big part of the show. And of course, thanks you folks for participating as well. So until we meet again, adios. Thanks for hanging. And why